Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into something mind-blowing that's going to completely transform how you see your life. Have you ever wondered why certain things happen to you? Why you met that specific person? Why you got that job? Why you're even watching this video right now? Nothing, absolutely nothing, happens by random chance, according to Carl Jung, one of history's most brilliant minds. Everything in life is by and for something. It is not chance, it is causality. This isn't just some philosophical mumbo-jumbo. This is real life. And once you understand this principle, you'll never see your existence the same way again. Let me ask you something. Have you ever had a coincidence that seemed too perfect to be random? Like running into someone you were just thinking about, or finding exactly what you needed at the perfect moment. That's causality at work, people. And today, I'm going to show you how to harness this power to completely transform your life. In this video, we're going to explore how causality, not chance, governs everything around us. I'll share some insane personal stories, break down Jung's revolutionary ideas, and give you actionable steps to apply this knowledge to your own life right away. By the end of this video, you'll understand why everything that's happened to you was meant to happen. If you're tired of feeling like life is just randomly throwing things at you, good or bad, and you want to take control of your destiny, then this is the video you need to watch right now. Trust me, what I'm about to share will completely shift your perspective and potentially change the course of your entire life. I'm not even exaggerating. So, what are we waiting for? Grab a drink, get comfortable, and prepare to have your mind blown. Let's jump straight into the incredible world of causality. Like this video right now if you're ready to discover how everything in your life is connected for a reason. And just a quick roadmap of what we're covering today. First, we'll dive into Jung's concept of causality and synchronicity. Then, we'll explore how these ideas apply to your everyday life with some crazy examples. Finally, I'll give you practical techniques to harness causality to create the life you've always wanted. Let's go. All right, let's start with a mind-bending question. What if I told you that you're not actually experiencing random events, but rather a complex web of cause and effect that's been unfolding since the beginning of time? That's essentially what Jung was getting at with this powerful quote. Carl Jung, for those who don't know, was this incredible Swiss psychiatrist who revolutionized our understanding of the human mind alongside Freud, but then went his own way with some truly groundbreaking ideas. Jung developed this concept called synchronicity, which basically means meaningful coincidences that can't be explained by conventional causality. But here's the thing, Jung didn't believe these were really coincidences at all. He saw them as evidence of a deeper ordering principle in the universe. When Jung said everything is by and for something, he was suggesting that events happen with purpose, not randomly. This is crucial to understand if you want to take control of your life. Let me break this down in simpler terms. Imagine you're playing a video game. Every action you take leads to specific consequences within the game world. You jump, you move forward. You attack, an enemy gets defeated. The game doesn't randomly decide what happens. There's a code, a system of rules making everything work according to precise logic. Jung believed life works in a similar way, just with infinitely more complex rules. Now, I know what some of you are thinking, but what about genuine accidents or coincidences? Listen up, because this is where it gets really interesting. Jung wasn't saying there's no randomness whatsoever. Instead, he suggested that what appears random to us might actually be part of patterns we just can't perceive yet. It's like looking at a tiny piece of a massive mosaic. You can't see the bigger picture until you step back. The most fascinating part about Jung's perspective is how it merges with quantum physics and modern understanding of consciousness. Scientists are increasingly finding evidence that suggests consciousness itself might influence reality at a fundamental level. This isn't just philosophical. This is cutting-edge science that's starting to catch up with what Jung intuited decades ago. When Jung talks about events being for something, He's suggesting that experiences serve a purpose in our development, particularly our psychological and spiritual growth. Think about the hardest challenge you faced. At the time, it probably felt awful, maybe even unfair. But looking back, can you see how it shaped you? How it taught you something vital? That's exactly what Jung was pointing to. Jung believed we're constantly evolving toward what he called individuation, becoming our complete, authentic selves. And every experience, especially the challenging ones, pushes us further along this path. This isn't some new age nonsense. This is profound psychological insight backed by countless clinical observations Jung made throughout his career. What makes this concept so powerful is that it gives meaning to suffering. When something difficult happens, instead of asking why me, you can ask, what is this teaching me? This simple shift in perspective is absolutely life-changing. It transforms you from a victim of random chance to an active participant in your own evolution. The implications of Jung's ideas are even more mind-blowing when applied to relationships. Think about the people in your life. According to Jung, these aren't random connections. They're meaningful encounters that serve your development and theirs. Everyone who triggers strong emotions in you, positive or negative, is showing you something important about yourself that you need to recognize. Take a moment right now and think about the 3 most influential people in your life. Jung would suggest that these relationships aren't accidents. They're essential connections helping you become who you're meant to be. This perspective completely transforms how you view every interaction, making even difficult relationships valuable opportunities for growth. Mind blown. Right. So now that we understand the basics of Jung's perspective, let's dive into how this actually plays out in real life. I want to start with a crazy personal story that completely changed how I view coincidences. 3 years ago, I was going through an incredibly tough time in my career. Everything was falling apart, and I felt completely lost. One morning, feeling absolutely desperate, I randomly decided to go to a coffee shop I'd never been to before. While waiting in line, I overheard a conversation about a book that sounded interesting. I turned around and asked about it, which led to a 20-minute conversation with a complete stranger who happened to be working in exactly the industry I was trying to break into. Not only did this person give me invaluable advice, but they eventually connected me with someone who offered me an opportunity that completely changed my career trajectory. Was this just luck? A random coincidence? I don't think so anymore. This kind of thing happens all the time if you're paying attention. Think about your own life. How many times has a random encounter led to something significant? How many times has a mistake ultimately led you to something better than what you originally planned? This isn't coincidence. It's causality working in ways we don't fully understand yet. Scientists have a term for when seemingly unrelated events form meaningful patterns. Emergence. It's how billions of neurons create consciousness, how thousands of birds create murmurations, and how countless individual decisions create cultures and societies. Your life is full of emergent patterns that aren't obvious when you're zoomed in too close to see them. Let's talk about relationships. Have you ever met someone and felt an instant connection, like you've known them forever? Jung would explain this through his concept of the collective unconscious, the idea that we share deeper mental structures beyond our individual experiences. When you click with someone instantly, it's because you're recognizing something fundamentally aligned with your own psychological makeup. Career choices are another fascinating area where causality shows up in mind-blowing ways. Think about the job you have now. Can you trace back the chain of events, decisions, and coincidences that led you there? If you really examine it, you'll likely find that seemingly unrelated choices from years ago set you on the path to where you are today. This is causality creating patterns over time. Health and wellness experiences follow similar patterns. Many people report that their biggest health challenges led to transformative lifestyle changes they wouldn't have made otherwise. The illness or injury wasn't random. It was a catalyst for necessary change. I know people who completely transformed their lives after health scares, finding purpose and passion they never would have discovered otherwise. Even our interests and hobbies aren't random. Jung would suggest that what naturally draws your attention is connected to your unique psychological makeup and life purpose. The books, music, and activities you're passionate about are guiding you toward your authentic self. Next time you find yourself deeply interested in something new, pay attention. It might be showing you an important aspect of yourself. The most powerful example of causality in everyday life comes from how we handle challenges. When facing difficulties, most people ask, "Why is this happening to me?" But what if you started asking, "Why is this happening for me?" This simple shift completely transforms your relationship with problems. Instead of seeing random bad luck, you recognize opportunities for growth and evolution. Here's a practical experiment. For the next week, treat everything that happens, good or bad, as if it's happening specifically for your growth and development. Notice how this perspective shift changes your emotional responses and decision-making. This isn't just positive thinking. It's aligning yourself with the causal nature of reality as Jung described it. Are you ready to try this? Drop a yes in the comments if you're committed to this experiment. Now for the part you've all been waiting for, how to actually use this understanding of causality to create the life you want. This isn't just theoretical. These are practical strategies that have helped thousands of people transform their lives, and I'm going to break it down step by step so you can start applying it today. The first principle is awareness. You can't harness causality if you're not paying attention to the patterns in your life. Start keeping a journal where you track coincidences and meaningful events. Look for connections between your thoughts, actions, and what shows up in your life. After just a few weeks of this practice, you'll start seeing patterns that were invisible to you before. Next, understand the power of intention. Jung recognized that our conscious intentions interact with causality in powerful ways. When you set clear intentions, you're essentially programming the causal systems of your life. This isn't magical thinking. It's about focusing your awareness and energy in specific directions, which naturally influences your decisions and perceptions. Third, practice active imagination, a technique Jung himself developed. This involves engaging consciously with your subconscious through meditation, visualization, or creative expression. By building a stronger bridge between your conscious and unconscious mind, you gain access to deeper wisdom about the causal patterns in your life. I do this for 15 minutes every morning, and the insights I've gained are incredible. Fourth, pay attention to synchronicities, meaningful coincidences that seem to defy explanation. When you notice these, don't dismiss them as random. Ask yourself, what is this showing me? What action might this be guiding me toward? Jung believed these moments are particularly significant intersections of causal chains that deserve our full attention. Fifth, work with what Jung called shadow integration. Your shadow contains the parts of yourself you've rejected or haven't acknowledged. When you experience strong negative reactions to others, it's often your shadow being triggered. By recognizing and integrating these aspects, you stop projecting them outward and break negative causal chains that keep repeating in your life. Sixth, embrace paradoxical thinking. Causality isn't always linear or logical. Sometimes the best way to achieve something is to let go of trying to control it. Sometimes what seems like failure is actually redirection towards something better. Developing comfort with paradox allows you to work with causality more effectively than rigid thinking ever could. Seventh, practice circular questioning. When something happens, don't just ask why. Ask, what is this enabling? And what might this be preventing? By considering multiple causal directions, you gain a more comprehensive understanding of events and can make better decisions about how to respond to them. Eighth, develop present moment awareness. The present moment is where causal chains converge and where you have the power to influence what happens next. Mindfulness meditation strengthens your ability to remain present and make conscious choices rather than reacting automatically based on past patterns. Just 10 minutes daily can dramatically strengthen this ability. Ninth, cultivate radical responsibility. This means fully accepting that while you didn't cause everything that happens to you, you are responsible for how you respond to it. This perspective is incredibly empowering because it places you at the center of your causal web, able to redirect its patterns through your choices and attitudes. Finally, practice grateful anticipation, a mindset that combines gratitude for what is with positive expectation for what's coming. This isn't blind optimism. It's a recognition that causal systems are constantly working, even when we can't see their effects yet. By maintaining this state, you position yourself to recognize and capitalize on opportunities when they emerge. Wow, we've covered a lot today. From Jung's profound understanding of causality to practical techniques for harnessing these principles in your everyday life. Let's quickly recap the main points before I send you off to transform your reality. First, we explored Jung's revolutionary idea that nothing happens by chance. Everything serves a purpose in our development. We learned how synchronicity reveals deeper patterns connecting events in meaningful ways that transcend conventional understanding of cause and effect. Then we examined how causality manifests in everyday life, through relationships, career paths, health challenges, and personal interests. We saw how seemingly random events often form meaningful patterns when viewed from a broader perspective. Remember my coffee shop story? That's just one example of how causality works in ways we might initially miss. Finally, we covered 10 powerful strategies for actively working with causality to create positive change in your life. Awareness, intention, active imagination, recognizing synchronicities, shadow integration, paradoxical thinking, circular questioning, present moment awareness, radical responsibility, and grateful anticipation. These aren't just theories. They're practical tools you can start using today. The most important takeaway is this: you are not a passive victim of random circumstances. You are an active participant in a vast causal web, constantly influencing and being influenced by the patterns around you. By becoming conscious of these dynamics, you gain tremendous power to shape your experience and create the life you truly want. I challenge you right now to choose just one of the techniques we discussed and commit to practicing it daily for the next 2 weeks. Post which one you're choosing in the comments below, and I'll personally respond to as many as I can with specific advice for your situation. And don't forget to subscribe for more mind-expanding content like this. I release new videos every Wednesday that will help you unlock your full potential and create an extraordinary life. Hit that notification bell so you never miss an upload. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. Remember, everything in your life is happening by something and for something. Nothing is random chance. The question is, what will you do with this knowledge? The choice is yours and it starts right now. See you in the next video. Peace out.